Hey everybody, it's Bust with Battles with Bust number 618. Today we'll be doing battle with the Reaper in Backpack Battles. And so, as we come in and finish off Reaper week here in Backpack Battles, we're going to continue on with the Sack of Surprises, but for the remainder of the videos, I'm just going to chase after what I think is the most viable Reaper build, and that's going to be using the snake along with the fancy fencing rapier. And so if you're not familiar with the two collection of items here, to get you up to speed real quick, the snake gives you this big clover gain and health gain at the beginning for each pet that is attached to it. So ideally, we're going to be picking up 20 clovers and then 260 health, whatever that amounts to at the start of each battle. And then we're going to immediately funnel those 20 clovers that we gain from the snake over in to the fancy fencing rapier. And so this one here, this is just a nice late game scaling item. On hit, you spend 3 clovers to permanently gain 3 damage. If you miss, then you gain 3 clovers. And so it gets to just continually chunk down those clovers as a resource, get up to 40, 50 DPS, and be our main source of damage outside of any incidental poison that kind of comes together. And so that's going to be the core of the build. As we progress through this game, we're going to be looking to force this build, so we might take some pets a little bit early. If we see something like on sale, even though it's not good now, we know it's going to be good later since we plan to go pets. We'll look to enforce those kind of things. And otherwise, the other big kind of staple that I've been looking towards with this build is making Pandemoniums along with a Death Scythe. You tend to be able to use the Pandemonium and the Snecko within the Death Scythe to generate a bunch of poison, and then run out of stamina but still get a bunch of hits in with the fancy fencing rapier. And so we'll see how it goes. There's still lots of variations on this build, even though we're looking to chase after the same subclass game after game after game. Let's hit the button, see if we get a good start. And good stuff. Interesting start, as you must say, at the beginning of every game. Just a gigantic on-sale shop. We're going to look to take everything here. Leave the shell behind, I think, as we do have a whetstone on board. We can try and make a quick hero sword here, potentially. I'd also like to just find another weapon here on round 1. If we roll and find a broom or something like that, just something to help push us through and ensure that we maintain all of our stars. I think is the way to go. And so we did get it. We found a broom. There is a pan in here if we would like to make a shovel. We can think about that for next round. We're pretty locked in as it is here. There is also the on-sale walrus tusk, which I'm going to reserve. I do like building the thorn shields in the early game. And so do we want to dig up the shovel next turn? The thing with that, you're going to pick up 9 gold. We'll have 10 in total. And we need to find a bag. And so if we just assume that we're going to purchase this 6 gold of stuff, roll once, sell something, and get a bag, then we're still there. And so I think those are both okay to reserve to make sure that we can get it. Very powerful early game start, though. Didn't roll some bullshit potion amulet or something. You can get a lot of really awkward and weird stuff in these early games with the Sack of Surprises. All right, good deal. Round 1 victory, go us. And then here, got just about everything that we're looking for, right? We got a pan, we got a walrus tusk, we got a wooden buckler. I think that we're strong enough to just greed through this round and do something like this. Do we want to put... No, we can leave the hero sword out. I really like coming in early and just blasting, you know? Just sending all the damage right to the face that you can. But I think we're strong enough to have just a little bit of sustained run with the relic case. Also found another whetstone out here to make the hero sword for next turn. So fairly big high roll as far as this early game has been concerned. Okay, up against a broom and a shovel. Let's see if we survive through this battle rage. Nope. I'm gonna say we'll blame it on that star. I still hate that fucking item so much. You gotta find something to complain about, and that's it. I see you chose a random champion. We're gonna give you an obnoxious advantage. You're welcome. All right, how are we going to push forward here? Still struggling to get this wooden buckler in. Where'd this sword come from? Did we just hit it off the shovel? Well, I guess we can get the buckler in then. Good set of upgrades, nothing we want to lock. Alright, next round. I haven't sat around and complained about that little star item in a while. If you're new to the channel, I can tell you why. It's I have two main problems with that star. Number one, if you're in the kind of like mid ranks, if you're in the the silver ranks of backpack battles, picking up that 5% stamina in a random game isn't that big of a deal. But as you try to push up towards the top of the ranks and you're in the upper echelons of players, just getting that advantage is pretty huge in terms of if you're both at equal skill levels and both playing near perfect, having that advantage is quite strong, especially when you could just sell that thing, and it apparently upgrades into other items, and so it just gives you a huge advantage there. And so from a purely competitive standpoint, I don't like it. I get the idea. It's trying to force you into playing the other classes, and so it kind of helps eliminate being like, oh, the Reaper is the best class, I'm just going to pick the Reaper every single time. It helps push away from that, but there's a lot of downside at the top. And then even outside of that, the thing that I hate about it the most is beyond the competitive advantage. If you're saying, okay, I like to play the Reaper is the class that I have the most fun, you're at a disadvantage now, right? The strongest way to come in and play the game is to just go for the random class, but you don't get to play the class that you have the most fun with because they don't get access to those just random bullshit item. And so I hate it. I think it's terrible design, but what do I know? I don't design the games. I just complain about them, and so that's what you get to do when you have a YouTube channel and your own website, you know. And so that's what I'm bringing forth. But all right, fresh topics. Let's move on. Let's move up. Got an on sale glove, very close to hitting the Falcon Blade. Love the Falcon Blade with the Reaper. Love the Falcon Blade with this build. Gonna look good there. Let's continue to roll though. The rest of this shop is not very good. On board with the fanny pack. Do need a little bit of bag space here. Don't think we want any of this other stuff. I'm not really excited about picking up an onion. I think we could probably just stop here. Let's see. Can do something like that. Get good usage out of the gloves of haste, all of the weapons, and the hero sword. That sounds nice. Fill up that case as much as possible. Don't feel like we need to just be shooting off for spears this early. I do like to keep our weapons as strong as possible, but I think with this very early hero sword, that we're okay with the hero sword and the shovel. If this was one of these spots to where we had, say, like a shovel and a shell totem, then I would be considering upgrading to the spear, especially if we'd already lost a few rounds. But we're doing good. Okay, nothing particularly strong here. I do like going a little bit defensive when we have the poison case, since we should just be winning every game that goes to fatigue, right? If we're dropping 5 and 6 and 7 poison onto the opponent by the time we hit fatigue, then we should just win every game that drags on. And so having access to these healing herbs is kind of nice, but we're so close to the hero sword. Spending 4 gold on the healing herbs is a lot, especially when we need to pick up another bag this round. And so I think we'll let it go. We'll just continue to look for another bag, see if we can't find some stuff that's on sale. Fly Agaric is okay at this point, and then I feel like this is our big decision. And do we want to push for a Poison Goobert? And I'm not opposed to it. I kind of like these. It's just the problem I have with the Goobert is I play it poorly, and I run into lots of spots to where I just let the Gooberts ruin our bags, and I let it negatively impact what we're doing, and that's a poor reason to not take it right. Just because you play with an item poorly doesn't make it a bad item. It means you just need to get good, and I think that that's the spot to where I need to get in my head that it's okay to just not completely maximize the Goobert. And then if we do pick up the Poison Goobert, it's nice, especially as we have like the Poison Goobert and the Snake and the Relic Case. And then if we pick up a Death Scythe along the way, having that Goobert's going to be good. And so I think that we can pick it up here. It isn't going to be spectacular fit. I don't think it even fits in our bags. We'd have to take Gloves of Haste out. Yeah, it's just not going to fit, but I think it's going to be okay. We'll make some better usage of it once we get the bag space to get it up and running. Okay, I think I like this chipped emerald out of the bag so we get the sustain. Everything else and the attacky weapons, Goobert's at home. Cool. Let's battle. We got, oh man, that's a blazing hero sword. Those are so strong this early in the round. Are we going to get the takedown before it scales up? Gotta like seeing that. There's no way we would have won that round if he already had his molten dagger. So good stuff. Go us. We definitely outplayed him there. So let's see. Nothing too exciting here. I don't like Thorn Whips with the Reaper, so we'll skip past it. Definitely don't want a hammer. Take a roll here. Find a nice bag. Leather armor we should consider, but I think we're just going to use this space now to get the Goobert in. And so it's a very space-oriented item that we don't quite have the space for. Otherwise, on sale Goobert, you would have been a good deal earlier. I don't think we can go for that. Let's just get our Goobert in. We could look to take another roll, or we could look to just pick up blueberries. We don't need blueberries in the immediate, but they're quite good as the game progresses. This is a way to generate the mana we need, and then clovers as the game really progresses. Also kind of interested in just taking the banana. Maybe that's where we go. If we say sell off... Oh shit, we already had the money for it, but I think we can fit this in here reasonably. Yeah, that's a decent looking bag. The gloves aren't super optimized, but everything else is looking decent. With the healing bonus and the armor, the on-hit effects and the weapons. Okay. Pick up the blueberries and go. Should be pretty strong in any battle that goes to fatigue, right? We have the thorn generation. We have multiple ways of generating poisons. I think that's all well and good. Right, what typically happens in some of these slower battles is like this, right? Nobody's running out of stamina. Everybody's pretty close to max health, but then you're just like, LOL, I have 15 poison on you. You should be winning pretty much all of those rounds. So, all right, that looks good. Definitely want to pick up the fanny pack. I see things like the pan and still kind of envision that we could make a pandemonium, but I think it's probably a little bit too late for that. Kind of same with the deck of cards. I do plan on taking every dragon egg that we see, but it's a bit of chicken and the egg in the sense that if we take the deck of cards without the dragons, it doesn't really do anything. And then as it takes up more shop slots, our chances of finding dragons go down. And so I think we'll leave the deck of cards at home, see if we can't find anything else a little bit on theme. And I will pick up the toads. They'll become active next round. It's going to suck here, but be good next round. So we could just lock it and roll if we want. There's not a ton we can really upgrade our bags with, though. And so I think it's probably okay to just add in where we can, right? So maybe we do something like this. Just upgrade all of our weapons pretty much within the fanny pack, get the blueberries in, upgrading our foods, still having good activators within the kit. And then we'll just reserve well, there's no reason to reserve the toad for next round, right? We're just going to purchase it now if we're not going to continue to roll. But this is a spot you could roll, right? We had 8 gold. We could just lock the frog and roll. But I think if we had, like 3 or 4 bag slots, it would make sense. But having, 1 slot at this point, we should probably just take the toad. All right, so it's coming together reasonably. Like the things I want to look towards now that we're getting close to picking up the snake is that number 1, we need to get rid of this shovel. We need to upgrade our weapons. We've gone ages without finding the falcon blade here, which is a real pain point going into the mid game because we kind of need to find everything, right? We would ideally be finding some dragon eggs. We would find an upgrade to the shovel. The way I look towards these shovels is that or I'm sorry, as our end game weapon is like I'll take a lightsaber or I'll take a Ripthorn blade, whatever it's called. But we really want to be finding the fancy fencing rapier. Sometimes you just have to find something to tide yourself over with, and our weapons are bad at this point. And so that's upgrade number one that we need to make. And then after that, we really just need to be finding some dragon eggs. So moving forward, though, going to take the bag. I'm going to take the corrupted crystal. I'm more than happy to turn that into a pandemonium this round if that turns up. If we see a pan, I'm okay with that. Here, we have to get rid of the shovel. We can pick up this lightsaber. It's not super on point, but we can afford it, and it's a definite upgrade over what we have. Now, the question that we'll have with the lightsaber is, do we want to come in and make a light goober? It's not super ideal, but it's going to, definitely be an upgrade, and it's not the worst. Like, it's a reasonable defensive item in our build right now that doesn't have any defense in it, and so we could consider this upgrade. Getting the poison, we haven't found anything to really push us into the poison end of the spectrum, right? We haven't found a death scythe. We didn't find the pandemonium. We're just kind of lacking in that. But this would just be like purely defensive. This isn't going to scale up, right? We're not going to say build a dark saber and get additional usages out of that. And so I'm kind of worried about this thing just sucking. It feels like a bit of a bait here. And so I think we will just keep the lightsaber as a standard attacky style item, and then see if we can't upgrade the Goobert later on. Still not opposed to picking up like a Pandemonium with this corrupted crystal. It's a bit late in the game, but we can definitely use it. All right, let's get this stuff rearranged. We got the snake in the bag. That looks good. Then we need to get stuff wrapped around the snake. That looks good. And come over here and get the weapons in the bag, so we have something continually activating. That stuff looks decent. Alright, so I don't hate the start here. Definitely want to make sure we're not combining the stuff we don't want to combine. The corrupted crystal into the lightsaber, the lightsaber into the Goobert. We're looking good from that standpoint. All right, and so yeah, I like it. We've definitely missed out on a lot of our points of upgrade, but I think the build's getting somewhere reasonable. We got up against a big double axe. Took him down pretty easy, and still got a pretty reasonable chunk of poison on him, up to 19 at the end of the day. Gotta like seeing that. And then here is the Death Scythe. And so, cool. Like, I'm still on board with doing this, right? We can get the Death Scythe out here, get the bonus onto the snake. We could, like, if a pan turns up this round, I'm still on board with it. But I think the option for Pandemonium is probably gone at this point. But it would have been nice if it turned up. Still, this hero sword. I have to decide when it's okay to give up on the hero sword as well. But right now is not that. Maybe right now is that time. Or what? I forgot that that Goobert is a thing. Maybe that's what we should be doing. I don't want this hero sword anymore. Let's do this. I like this angle, I think. Let's just lock the scythe, pick up the fanny pack, and then we can just kind of prepare for the scythe being here next round. And so let's continue to roll for just a little bit. None of these are real upgrades. And then the poison turns up if we want the poison Goobert, so I think we'll be going for that. So with that in mind, we'll make the poison Goobert, keep the Death Scythe on lock, And then we'll just sell the hero sword next round. Make everything fit in the bags at that point. Okay. Death Scythe takes up so much space, but it is quite good. Yeah, this guy with his fancy fencing rapier. Wouldn't mind picking one of those up. All right, good deal. Nice little takedown. And so, yeah, this frees up a ton of bag space at this point. Need to sell something to get the Death Scythe. The Hero Sword is what's going to be going. And now this is another big rearrange coming in. Let me see. I know I've dealt with this before, but I don't entirely remember how the setup goes. I think we typically do something like this. And then the snake can sit somewhere like this, and then we can still fit the Goobert up in the top part of the bag, or we can put him here. Like the pain point with getting the snake up here at the top is it just loses out on too many hexes. This is the other option, right? This is better. So we get the snake in front of the Death Scythe, and then we also get the Goobert up in the top part of the top part of the thing, and then we can just say put a blueberries inside, so we have a permanent activator within. Okay, I like it. Then eventually we could say put a dragon up here more towards the top. Okay. So as it stands, I don't think we can put the lightsaber up here with just a bunch. Like, I think we'll want to get our foods up here at the top. I think we're just going to get stamina out if we have both the Death Scythe and the lightsaber running at the same time. So we want it to be something like this. Oh, we just don't have any more foods now. That's awkward. All right, that looks reasonable. Right. So if we recap real quick, we've got both the Snecko and the Poison Goobert and the Death Scythe. That's good. The Goobert and the Toad within the Snake. We still have the extra spaces out here to get these additional pets in. That looks pretty good. And then we're just going to be looking. The big thing to find now is dragons and find a dark saber, or not a dark saber, a fancy fencing rapier. And we should just be off to the races with the rest of this build. Look at this guy and his falcon blade. I wonder what it feels like to find all the components to make a falcon blade. I certainly wouldn't know. Looking good. Got him. Didn't get the victory. Got him up to 43 poison. Things are cruising along. We just gotta find these remaining portions of a build. So here, definitely want the heroic potion. Our stamina is running out. Can pick up a bag. On sale bird is kind of okay. There's no real great places to put it in our bags, but I do want that big health bonus that it's going to give us. Blueberries helps a lot as well. Ooh, here's the dragon egg. We can't afford it this round. We can definitely get it in next round, though. Okay, so how do we want this to look? We need the bird down here at the bottom. Let's see. Dark saber in. I think this is okay. Got the gloves activating on both of the pets. It is going to be a little bit awkward, like trying to fit the dragon in to these remaining snake spots. Like it doesn't really play out how we want, but It'll be okay. We got to get the upgrade somewhere. We can just sell off this bird at some point if we want. It's not something that I'm a huge fan of anyways. But it was on sale, so that was kind of a nice deal. Everybody coming out here with their falcon blades. I just wonder what that feels like, you know? Just falling a little bit short. We either need like a little bit more armor or we need a little bit more damage, neither of which we've been able to pick up. But here we can finish out the pets, right? We've got both the toad and the dragon egg. We can just sell off some of these garbagey gems we don't need anymore. Now everything should be able to fit. So you want it to be something like that. All the snake activations are good now. Guess we just got to move the sword up to the top. Maybe we should have done that a while ago. But all right, this would look good here. Like this is just about as late game as it gets. You can say, you know, how all the goodness is coming together. I feel like we've just been getting very narrowly burnt out over the course of these last 2 rounds. What is all this? Can't tell what this is even doing. It's like half sun, half vampiric. It's got all these vampiric potions. I don't know what to think about those. Our health is staying up. Look at that. I mean, God, we're just doing nothing. We've got them up into the 70s and 80s and 90s of poison and barely able to get a takedown. That's insane. All right, though. So close to being okay. This will most certainly help. These glowing crowns are fantastic. Picking up the invulnerable is exceptionally good. I do want to pick up this fanny pack as well so we can sell off one of these cheap little gems that we don't need. Jump into the next round. Man, it's crazy how much burst damage you get out of a fancy fencing rapier. Gotta have one turn up. Let's see if our poisons can outscale the cheeses here. Oh, barely. One hit away. Okay. Pushing on towards the end. That invulnerable was pretty big there, and now we've got a dragon online, so our deeps should be going up just a little bit. See if we can't continue to upgrade. I didn't watch our mana. I know we got pretty close to the end before our glowing crown popped off, so we should probably be picking up another blueberries. Don't really want any of this other stuff, though. Happy enough with the protective purse. We have been running out of stamina, but I'd rather just pick up a potion at this point as opposed to adding in a banana, so we can skip past that. Nothing we need here. Nothing we really need here. Probably just pick up the bags and not hate it. I was really hoping to upgrade this round. The Wolfentinger is what we need, in the sense that we keep running out of stamina every round. It's a fantastic upgrade over the tortilla. We just can't afford it here. Also kind of tempted by this holy armor. Like, what if we sell, and then we sell this little gem? We can get the holy armor in here now. It's definitely an upgrade. So something like this, and then it's like with the Wolfentinger, I really want it, but like we have to just find the fancy fencing rapier. That's what's really holding us off from pushing towards the end. And so it's like if we lock this and plan to just spend the 12 next turn, I guess we can lock it and then just take a handful of rolls, and if it turns up, great, and if it doesn't, then we just fall back to the Wolfentinger to make sure that we have a good item. But it's not good. It's not good with this weapon. All right, I think I'm okay with that pathing though. Kind of interested in this as well. Maybe we do come in and just upgrade the holy armor at this point, to make sure we're getting good use out of that crystal. We probably passed on a pan a while ago, but you know, it's so tough to pick them up at this stage of the game. They just guaranteed losing a round. All right, how's this going? We got him jacked up on the old poisons. Much better, much better. All right, the make it or break it round. And so, yeah, I think I'm okay with this idea, right? We'll keep the Wolfentinger locked. I'm going to start to roll. If we find a fancy fencing, then we'll pick it up. If we don't, then we can just stop and pick up the Wolfentinger here. And that looks like where we're going to be. Can push him over a little bit. And all right, that's it. This is the last. Oh shit! I didn't. God damn it! It turned up. I'll tell you exactly what happened with this round. I saw the potion belt and I saw the ruby egg, and I was like, yeah, I don't want any of those. And then the fancy fencing just kind of blended into the potion belt. And so let's lock it. If we win the round, we can continue on. I think our build is good enough at this point, but I would 100% rather have the fancy fencing rapier as opposed to the lightsaber. I'm fairly certain if you're in this camp, you can just quit the game and restart, and the round will restart, and then you can purchase it. I'm not entirely certain how that works in terms of the game saving itself. I don't agree with it ethically, but that could have been a potential move. How we doing here, though? Looks like he has a lot of the poison bows. We're just gonna fall short. What is this? Like, it's so weird seeing these builds. Like, what is this build supposed to actually be doing? It's got like the clover bow, and then it's got the poison bow, but then it's got a vampiric armor, but it only has one attacky style item. It has the moon shield, which I get. It lets you block everything, but just a very odd and awkward build. And it's like, how did you even just build up all of this stuff? How did you get up to all this empowered and stuff? And it's like, oh, I guess you were stealing our buffs with old Tim, getting the double hits in on the Falcon Blade. And so kind of is what it is. I'm not certain how that round would have gone had we actually picked the weapon that we were designing the entirety of our build for. You can see where the pain points with this falls is to where our lightsaber is only dealing 10 damage per second, to where the Falcon Blade is out here dealing 30. The fancy fencing rapier at this stage would be coming up doing 40 and 50 damage per second as it churned through all of those clovers. And so it's most certainly a preferred high power item, and then it would have just most certainly been better than the Wolfentinger here. And so the way that this should have gone, had I not overlooked the actual key item to our build, was we would have picked the fancy rapier here, and then we would have used the Wolfentinger next round, as the build is kind of popped off at this point. Now, the thing that I'm not 100% certain what this is assuming that we won this round because we picked up the fancy fencing, the decision on pushing upward into the survival rounds, I don't think we should do it here. I think with a build like this is a very reasonable point to just quit. We get good poison in, right? The Goobert, Snecko, and Death Scythe are all working just fine, but we don't have the components to make this like a super late game build. It's to where the Jinx Tortilla sucks. We only have a Ruby Whelp. We don't have any upgrades to dragons in sight. If we want to add another dragon in, it's going to be 2 rounds further. Like, this isn't strong enough to take on the late game, and it doesn't upgrade quickly enough to be good in the late game. And so I think ideally the way that this would have gone was we would have picked up the fancy fencing, replaced the lightsaber, we would have won the round, and then we would have picked up the 5 LP at the end for snatching up that victory. But I did it like a dum-dum here and ended up losing out at the end. But I'm still glad to kind of show those things, you know. I'm not one to just cherry pick my games. I like to show those mistakes so you know that they're okay to make as well. But this is, the real kind of core that we're going to be looking for the Reaper over the course of this video. And then the next one is to where we get the Death Scythe, Snecko, one other poison generator inside, the fancy fencing, a big collection of pets to upgrade the snake with, and then a little bit of defenses after that, mainly focused on the glowing crown. And so, good stuff, good build. I had fun with that. I hope you did too, because that is going to do it for us today. So hope everyone enjoyed the video. Hope you maybe learned a thing or two along the way. You had a good time watching. This is Bust and We. Thank you for being here.